Hello everyone, today I will be doing a review of the Resinsoul Tang body. Okay, first of all I will try to speak more clearly, since in the other video I had to put subtitles because I rewatched it, and my speaking was just incoherent, and it wasn't very clear, and it was a bit hard to understand even to me, and sometimes I wasn't even sure what I was saying. I mean, listening to it, so I'm gonna try to speak more clearly. Okay, so first, before anything, I would like to look at the sculpting, then the aesthetics of the body, and then at the posing, you know, and his range of movement. As you can see, he's very nicely sculpted. He has a lot of detail on his muscles. He even has sculpted veins on here. He has a lot of nerves around the neck area, which can be a bit awkward sometimes if you look at it a certain way. But yeah, he has muscle definition here, and his muscles here, his abs are very detailed. His arms are have a lot of detail here in the muscles generally, and his leg muscles are also very detailed. His bits aren't too detailed, but I mean, I've never seen a male Resinsoul doll with very detailed bits. The navel, the belly button looks the same as all the other Resinsoul dolls I've seen, because they all tend to have I've noticed that their belly buttons are sculpted the exact same way for all of them. In his back, he also has a very detailed back muscles, and yeah, and his wrists are very detailed in the wrist area. His hands are also very well sculpted. There, you can see some of the bones around here. Here you can see the skin around the skin between the thumb and the index finger, which is really nice. His nails are a bit on the longer side, and they're fine. They look good. They still have this little thing, which I'm not too much of a fan of. You know, where his wrists are like very thick compared to the hand. You know, see here, but it's not. You know, it's not a problem. It's just my personal tastes. His knees also are detailed, and his feet are, you know, they're very well sculpted. They have the toe bending over here. They even have sculpted bone here, sculpted calf bone here and here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I want to put him in comparison to my older. Oh yeah, and you also can see the muscles here, which is a really nice detail. To me, at least, whatever. I want to put him in comparison to my older Resinsoul MSD boy, who is on a single jointed body, the oldest male body they have. He has, don't mind the blushing, that's because it's almost chipped off, and no, he's very old. I bought him around, first of all, look at the difference in resin color. His hands are, I put those away and somewhere, and no matter, they're not that detailed anyway. The difference in color, because I've had, this is my least yellowed doll, and I've had him for 4 years or so, and look at the difference in color, like, it's a lot. There's a lot of difference aside from the simple yellowing. But yeah, as you can see, they're actually, even though they might not look it, their proportions are a bit similar. They actually have, you know, their sizings are a bit similar. Like their shoulder width, his shoulders of course are broader, but not that much, not by that much, and the chest is almost the same width, but his waist is smaller, thinner, but their hips are almost the same, if not the exact same, and his legs are much thinner than his, because his are very much more muscular. Side to side, they're very similar, but only he has more butt, but he has more breast and wider back. But the difference I noticed is that, you know, their Adam's apple are really similar, even if not a bit less pronounced in his case, because his Adam's apple is a tiny bit more, you know, noticeable, and his collarbones are more noticeable, whereas his Adam's apple is almost unnoticeable, you see, and his collarbones aren't as much pronounced. And oh, and also I want to compare the feet, because look at this. His feet is a lot flatter, a lot more flat. See, he doesn't have the sculpted calves. Oh, no, wait, he does. I never noticed that. He actually does, but only on one side, and it's not very pronounced. Whereas he's much more detailed and better sculpted overall. And yeah, that's for the aesthetics of the body. As for the posing and the posability and the movement, his arms, starting from the top up, his arms have the locking mechanism that locks them in place, so that they can stay up like that. Shoulders are. I have a good range of motion. He's good at keeping those poses. He's really overall a pretty good poser overall. I'm pretty pleased. His elbow joints are okay. They're alright. They don't allow him full range of movement, like he can do this, but he can do this, which is already pretty good. He can of course hold it. It's a bit less easy to have him hold something like a pose like this, because he's made to pose to bend his arm a bit more, but he can hold it pretty well anyway. Like this kind of pose. And this. His wrists, they have a pretty good range of motion, but they don't bend the full way. Oh no, they do actually. I'm nice. That's nice to know. If you force them a bit, just a second. Sorry, my mom interrupted me again. But yeah, his arms, his wrists do bend the full way. If you force them a bit, they will keep the pose. It's a bit hard to do, but they can. So yeah, they turn pretty well, and yes. He has a good wrist. He also has a 3-part torso. Like he can slouch pretty well, but it's pretty noticeable if he isn't wearing any clothing. See, you can see the slouch. You can see the joint here, and but he can also bend backwards pretty well. Side to side, he can do this and this, which is a bit extreme. I mean, but if he was wearing a shirt or something, I don't think you could see it, you know, that much. So yeah, from the front it looks perfect when he's slouching. His hip joint tends to do, you know, the thing where he pops out randomly a lot, like. You'll be doing anything, posing him and stuff, and you'll go like this, but it's okay. I mean, it's manageable. It's not too bad. You can move forward like this. Yeah, what I was saying, side to side as well. You can do a full slouch like this, yeah, pretty punchy. Or we can do, you know, this, which is a pose I really like. You know, where he goes like, not this extremely, but you know, yeah, a bit less extreme. I mean, yeah. Yeah, kind of like this. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying. Fine. I mean, and he snaps back right into place. His leg joints are pretty nice. His thigh joints are good because they he can sit pretty well, which my other boy can do as well. Like he sits. He sits. If he can sit, that's already something. He can do this and hold it. Can do that as well. Goes back a little bit, but not too much, and then he goes forward. His knees, they are double jointed, but the joint is a bit hard to work with, but it works pretty well. I mean, he can bend his leg all the way like this. He can do this. He could even do this, but I don't know. I don't think it. No, wait, he could maybe. He has these things in the joint. You see these ridges, which I'm not too sure what they're for. I'm not too sure what they help with, but I'm pretty sure they do help with something. So I just don't know what. Yeah, he can do this. He also can, you know, do the thing where he's lying down and has one leg up. I haven't tried balancing him in one leg yet, but I don't think maybe he could do it, but he's very heavy, so I'm not too sure about that. What else? Yeah, the feet. They have a pretty good range of movement too. They do this, go all the way down, then all the way up. Side to side, they can do this and that. I mean, they don't have a too good range side to side, but I don't think that's as much of a problem. But they can do pretty well from up and down. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, his head. His head. For some reason, first it was pretty hard to handle his head. Like it was pretty hard to move him like forward, backward, and stuff. And he can't move all the way back down. Like he can do this and hold it, which is weird because which is great because all my other Resinsoul dolls can't. They can't look up. They always had a problem in their neck. He can do this, that, this. He can do all the way. He can look upwards like this, and you can look downwards a little bit, but only a little bit. Like that's it. Can do this, and that's it. Yep. And so I guess this is pretty much it. Also, I had to restring his legs, which I don't think I did a too good job with, because when I was trying to put his head back the first time I removed it, I accidentally loosened one of the nuts in his strings. Like I pulled it and it came loose just like that, and so I had to restring his legs. Because you know that the knot pulled loose and the legs just fell out like that. The knots, the legs, and then the torso, and then the hips and the torso. So I had to restring his, from here down, which I don't think I did a good job with because it was tighter and it was much harder for him to to pop out like this. I think I strung him a bit too loosely, but he does hold poses very well. So it's not an issue right now. So yeah. He's very good at posing, as I said. He holds his poses very well, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. So yeah, there it is. Thanks for watching. Bye.